Hi, I'm Emily Baumann, and I'm talking today to Katie March. And Katie is a wife and a mother and a seasoned therapist here that I love working alongside at Learn to Thrive. So, Katie, you've been working with college students for most of your career, whether at the university or here in private practice at Learn to Thrive. And I'm really curious. Let's just start with why college students? Why are they one of your favorite populations?
Yes, yeah. Thanks, Emily. It's nice to talk to you today. College students are just first of all, college, that age is just the best. I think they come off as if it's like the first time since probably kindergarten that they've been in a new environment and getting to make friends for the first time, pick their friends this time. Experience new social environments that they hadn't had. A lot of times they're coming from having been at the same school, maybe all through since kindergarten through high school. So they're stepping away from their families, stepping away from their homes, and living on their own. And I think that this brings a lot of opportunity for growth. I also a lot of mistakes, and I think that the mistakes are really important that they're making as they're learning to become independent for the first time for many of them. And there's a lot of growth that can happen through the mistakes that they're making as they're adjusting to a new environment.
Boy, isn't that the truth? Welcome to being human, right? That's
Yeah,
sometimes
yeah.
the greatest way that we learn in life. Well, I know high school counselors often come beside high school students, particularly juniors and definitely seniors, Katie,
Mhm.
right? And they have a process in place to help support that transition. Wow.
Um, and one more fact that's really fascinating is 81% of college students reported emotional difficulties impaired academic performance.
Absolutely. Yes.
So high schools can prepare students so well academically, and I can't do that. That's not where I come in. But to send a student off that may be academically ready is very likely they or may not be emotionally ready, and their mental health is going to suffer in that way. So I take the time to evaluate students' readiness and teach them resilience, help them set goals, and make a commitment to themselves to be true to their values, all while learning independence in a brand new environment.
Mm. That just those are the developmental skills and maturities that we all get stretched
Yeah.
and need to experience. And so I love that you're really formalizing this college readiness work that you've been doing and now offering it more, to the masses. It's so interesting because with college, there's kind of this stereotype, right? That, oh, we hear this in the background. These are the best years of your life. This is the best. And for many, what we see is, especially the first year, it's not.
Yeah.
It's actually the opposite of that. Is that also what you're seeing? And then you're kind of like in conflict between, boy, it's supposed to be so great. It's supposed to
Yeah.
be so free and footloose and fancy free and fun. And wow, I'm not having that
Mhm.
experience.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear that a lot in my office. I would say some of the questions I hear most often from high school students that are headed off to college is just a lot of fear. Like, what if I'm the only one of my friends who doesn't like it? Or what if I'm the only one of my friends who wants to switch schools or doesn't or fails my classes or can't keep up academically? Or what if what if I don't find new friends, and what if I don't get into the sorority that I want to get into? And I tend to be kind of a realist in my office, and I'm like, I want to normalize that for them. I want to make them realize that every student, no matter what student you're talking to, every student is going to have a struggle in college. Those struggles look different for everybody, but they're having a struggle, and some kids are very outward with their emotions and with their struggle in college, and I would say the majority of students keep that inside because they don't want to be that student who didn't make it, or that student who's sad, or that student who misses their parents and can't adjust to their new environment. So in using college readiness program, using or being part of a college readiness program, I think what that can help with is allowing students to hear from other peers. If they're meeting in a group before they head off and interacting with students that are going to other universities, they're learning that those struggles are across all universities. whether you're in a community college or an Ivy League. There are struggles across every campus. And so part of the readiness program is helping them find the resources they're going to need when they get onto campus. Whether that be checking back in with me and making sure that they're adjusting and having me ask them all the questions that I might have asked them in my office, and having a familiar face and having a relationship with me so that I can really, kind of call them out for things they might be hiding behind, or helping them find the resources on campus for in-person interaction to help them succeed in the campus that they're on. No college wants a kid to fail. They won't hold your hand like high school, but they do not want you to fail. They need you to graduate. And so it's about learning the resources available to students on campuses that students can utilize and need to utilize before it's like from the beginning.
Yeah, I love what you're saying because it's a developmental phase where you're differentiating more than ever from your parents, right? And parents are respecting that. And yet we know as adults that anytime you go through a big transition, support is huge. Helping you find language is huge. Normalizing the experience is huge. We don't know what we don't know in life until we're there, whatever the there is. And so I love that you're meeting with this young adult prior to, and then you have that comfort and that safety, and you're normalizing their experience once they get to college or even after their first year of college as they're still finding their footing. And that is just invaluable. I love that you're honing in on this niche with mental health needing advocates and needing support more than ever for our college students. It's really a wonderful offering, Katie. Now, there's certain developmental skills and just maturation that occurs when a young person leaves home for the first time. And you're really helping to develop that. Tell us about those skills that sometimes only come through living, through being stretched, or can come the hard way.
Yeah. First, I think the evaluation has to happen on how they've been in high school, what their interaction is with their parents, with their siblings, with their peers. How much independence have they created for themselves already, and really how much independence have their parents let them have. So some of the work is even done as alongside the parents and the child, is to start to create that separation. Not that you'll always need your parents, but allowing the parents to just let the leash go a little bit, and knowing that it is important for their kid to fail to learn, and that it's really hard to watch our kids go out into the world and not need us as much. But the importance of, like, that is what college is about. It's about finding your own groove, finding your own values, learning to live those on your own. So a lot of the work is seeing how much independence they've already gained by living at home. And then another area that I like to look into is really reminding people that college doesn't take away your problems. I think similar to a question you asked me a little bit ago about college is the best, and it's the best time of your life, and everything's better in college. And it's college doesn't just take all those problems away. If you had anxiety and depression in high school, you will probably face a scenario where anxiety and depression will come back. If you struggled to eat right in high school, you're going to have to find your groove and figure out how to eat well on campus. If you struggled with relationships and friendships, you might struggle with relationships and friendships on campus. And similarly, academically, if you had a hard time in high school with getting your work done and not procrastinating, you might procrastinate in college. And so the life skills is about being realistic about what you struggled with in high school, and knowing that those are going to follow you to college. But now you got to do them along without your parents' help, and without your hand being held from your high school teachers and the staff in your high school, and learning to say, okay, now I have to do this on my own, and build your resilience and build your self-confidence and say, I can do this on my own. But it is really helpful to have somebody like a therapist.
In your own words, Katie, how would you describe college readiness? That's really your niche, is college readiness coaching one-on-one, and also forming groups of college students in the future. So describe this word for us, college readiness.
Yeah, so high schools get kids ready academically for college, and that's I leave that up to them. But I'm here to get kids ready from a mental, emotional, and relational health perspective. Um, they just don't have those in place in the same way that high schools are preparing them academically. And so I'm here to help them understand what resources they need and what support they need when their mental, emotional, and relational health is struggling. And so when they fall, and I help them build the resilience to get back up.
Hmm. That's fantastic. I know you shared earlier in our conversation that almost 60% of young college freshmen are experiencing some episodes of anxiety and depression. And so there is a real need for
Mhm.
this type of social emotional college readiness. And I love that we're getting this out there for folks to find you. So would you say every college freshman needs a college readiness coach? Or which ones particularly would you say would most benefit from your work?
Yeah, I would say that everyone struggles with change, even if you say you don't. Change is hard. Adjustment is hard. Big life adjustments are hard. But high school students, I would say that some are very prepared to go off to college. Some clients come through my office, and I feel really confident in their ability to handle all of the mental, emotional, and relational situations that come their way. I would say if you have a high school student who seems to be continuing to struggle with anxiety and depression, or not able to find a lot of value in themselves, struggling with some self-esteem, feeling really nervous about who they are and who they want to be in college, even struggling to figure out where they want to go and what feels like the right fit for them. I think it's really beneficial to have them talk to a mental health coach, to a college readiness coach, to um, just learn more about themselves,
Yeah.
to make a commitment to themselves that um, they're going to put their mental and emotional health first. I think that it's really easy to head off to college and just be all in on the academics, or lose and fail with the academics, and realize that it's really that you're not putting your emotional wellness in at the forefront. Are you sleeping enough? Do you have a kid who um, procrastinates with their school all the time? Do you have a kid who has struggled with relationships in high school? Do you have a child who doesn't open up a lot and holds a lot in? I think those are kids that can really benefit from just an extra eyes and extra support.
Absolutely. Yes. And I'm just curious, you've been working with college students for a long time and you're a
Mhm.
seasoned therapist. Do you have a favorite story of a young person that you've worked with that you were able to provide some college readiness coaching with them and their transition to college was that much more successful because of it?
Yeah, a lot of great stories from students that I've worked with. I think watching students, one particular student was struggling in high school with her self-esteem, and trying to find herself and find who she really wanted to be. We worked really hard in her years here, I think from sophomore year to senior year, to really develop the person that she wanted to be. And then she was worried that that person wouldn't be accepted when she went off to college. And I think watching her, working with her over the summer, so we kind of wrapped up her senior year, she got into a place that she really wanted to go, and then working with her over the summer to role play a lot of scenarios that could come up with her relationally, and with anxiety and things that could different situations that might spike her anxiety, and using those scenarios in my office to role play how she would respond to them. And then she got herself ready to go, and her parents dropped her off for that first day. And at 3 weeks in, I usually try to check in with the college students and see how it's going. And she was able to give me a lot of examples of struggle that she felt, and scenarios that actually the ones we practiced were coming true when she was there. And then I was able, because she was only 3 weeks in, we were able to help her get set up with the resources she needed on campus from the start. The resources aren't going to help you if you find them the last semester or the last week of the semester. You need to get in there early. You need to if you're struggling with school, you need to see a tutor early. If you're struggling with your mental health, you need to be familiar with where the counseling center is. If you're struggling to move your body and find a routine, you need to, find out where the gym is and find a group of friends to go with and join clubs that build relationships. And so meeting with her in those first 3 or 4 weeks on campus, she was able to talk that through with me and then set goals with me. So then each time we met every 2 to 3 weeks. She was able to check back in with me to say, I joined this, or I tried this and it didn't work, or thank you for making me introduce myself to my professor, because now she's helping me, stay on top of my work.
Oh, that's so awesome. I can just see your passion for these young adults just coming through loud and clear. Katie, well, your services with college readiness coaching would sure be a fantastic graduation gift for a young adult who's getting ready to launch and could use a little extra support. And that would be awesome. So, if a college student wanted to reach you, who's returning next year and wants
Mm-hmm.
to just have a little better start, or is making a transfer and wants to
Mm-hmm.
start off on a good foot, or maybe a parent wants to reach you and think about this as a gift for their young adult, or again, the college student directly, that's an incoming freshman. How should your clients reach you at this point to just begin this process with you?
Yes, I would love to be, if they reached out to me. I think you're right. I think it's a great gift. Like we said, everyone could benefit from this. But to find out if your child or the student themselves would actually benefit from this program, I'm happy to do a 15-minute free 15-minute phone consultation with the child, with the parent, with both, to just find out how could this be helpful for your kid? How could this be helpful for you? So you could email me or text me. I think a lot of students like to text. It seems to be an easy way to reach me. You can reach me at kmarch@l2t.org, or my phone number is 513-657-8390.
Thanks so much for talking with me today, Katie.
Thank you, Emma.